Hello everybody, this is Chaos King True coming at you guys with my patch notes for the 5.3.4 live patch from a PvP perspective. Just so you all are aware, this was done on my stream, so it is a little raw. It's not scripted or anything like that. I did go through and try to cut out the ranting that we had on the stream just to kind of shorten up the video. But some people did want me to put it on YouTube because I do stream a little earlier in the morning. So just wanted to give you guys a brief heads up of what you're about to watch. Besides that, let's get on to it. Let's get this started. So the first set we have from Ice Reach. It's a light armor set. Khajiit's Hearth. Let's see, it gives you 2 magic recovery, 1 max magicka. When you heal yourself or an ally with an ability, gain a warming aura for 10 seconds. I think it's fine. Alright, cool. While in warming aura, you and a group member restore 10-20 health every 1 second and reduce the cost of sprint, block, and dodge roll. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds. It has decent uptime. You basically have if it works properly, which usually these things are bugged. If it works properly, you should have the 10 seconds with the 2-second cooldown between your heal, between your buff if you're a healer, and then you can get it back. It's a support set. This would be something good for like Zergs and shit. Probably wouldn't wear it on the body. You'd probably wear it like on your weapons and jewelry as a support with a better set on the body piece. But it could be usable. Healers would have. I'm not a healer, so I can't say how viable this would be. But it would definitely help out, like in a big Zerg, to make sure that people have that, you know, extra. Help the magicka users have the extra sprint, the extra dodge roll. It's decent. Let's see the next one, Titanborn Strength. Gain physical penetration on the first stat. That's different. Weapon damage, max magicka. The fifth is add weapon damage, adds 110 weapon damage and 1240 penetration. The bonus is doubled when you are under 75% health. This bonus quadruples when you're under 50% health. Wow. That's going to be a powerful set. That's going to be an extremely powerful set. That's insane. That has more penetration than Spriggans when you're at 50% health, which anybody who plays any type of like brawler type of build is gonna like this. Like this is almost like Fury. Just it gives you, it's probably going to replace Fury. Has more penetration and about the same weapon damage, but it goes off your max health instead of you having to get hit a number of times. It's like a stamina version. It's like a medium version of Fury. For those who want a little bit more damage oriented build. That's interesting. I'm definitely going to be looking at this for a build. That's a must. That's definite. Wow. That's going to be strong. Let's see the next one. Bonnie's Torment. It's a heavy armor set. Healing taken, max health, max stamina. So it's a stamina set. When you taunt a nearby enemy, you tether them for 5 seconds. While tethered, you apply major maim. So we have a major maim ability. Not a lot of that in the game. And which reduces their damage by 30%. And you gain major vitality, increasing your health. I would say Titanborn and MMA will be meta. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That Titanborn is going to be strong as fuck. Like, that's insane. Like I said, that's literally the medium version of Fury. Just different. Just, if you get hit one time and get the 50% health, you automatically get a bunch of penetration to fucking fight back. That's another good one that comes to mind is the Ancient Dragon Guard set with that. But anyway, we're not theory crafting right now. We can't theory craft. We'll be here all day. But anyway, when you encounter an enemy, so that's good. It's gonna be good. The heavy set's gonna be really good for PvE. Because I don't think you can't taunt players. I don't think it works like that. I'll have to double check that. I don't play enough with the taunt mechanic in PvP to see. If you can, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome, but we'll see. Let's see. That's it. It's gonna be a real good PvE set for any PvE tanks because now they get major maim, and if you're running either a version of low slash or Throvakun on your monster, you have major and minor. So that means you'll cut down the damage you take significantly. That's good. Now let's see the next one. Mother's killing it. This is the monster mask. Okay, so this is your monster set from Ice Reach. It's a Magicka set. Okay, so while in combat, casting an ability with a cast time or channel grants you a damage shield that absorbs 5,000 damage for 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 6 seconds. This set restores 600 mana as the shield's broken. Rip. So it's a damage shield. Like Templars Magicka Templar can get use out of this. Like when they're using their puncturing strikes, they're spammable. But maybe Crystal Frags for Sorks, they could get that too. I don't know if the damage shield is just like the damage shield from the Sigic Order passive, so it'll be alright. You'd have to have a damage shield build for it to make any sense. If you don't have a damage shield build, so you can stack the damage shields, it's not going to do shit. It's going to be average at best. But you can put it in a build. Alright, let's see the next new dungeon. Unhallowed Grave. So we got Decker's Grip, which is a light armor set from here. Adds Magicka, spell penetration, recovery. So a big Magicka set. Gives you all the magics that you need. When you deal direct damage to an enemy, you curse them, causing them to take 617 extra damage from all your abilities. That's going to be great for Sorks that use Crystal Frag. Or anybody that uses like Crushing Shock from the Destruction Staff class skill line. Anybody who's single target Magicka DPS can actually use this. That's not going to be a bad set. Especially those annoying Sorks. Sorks are going to get the best use out of that, I believe. If they want to put it in their builds. Simply because they can just streak away and fucking tap you up. Probably mix it with Worm Coat or something. Okay, let's see the next one. Medium Margin. Aegis Calling. Weapon damage, weapon recovery, weapon damage. Or I said weapon recovery. Stamina recovery. When you deal critical damage with a melee ability, summon a lesser Aegis for 11 seconds. After 2.5 seconds, the lesser Aegis spins its blades, dealing 3,700 bleed damage every 1 second. This occurs once every 12 seconds. That'll be good for D-Swing and crit. When you're doing Executioner, as long as that procs off Executioner or D-Swing, this could be viable. I still like the other set better. This could be used by like maybe a I would say a Stamina Warden would probably use this. Can get some use out of this. Like if they activate it with Permafrost with the snare, and then this passive is going off, they can get some use out of it. Besides that, you have to play with and see how it actually interacts, see how much damage it actually does. Because since bleed damage really doesn't do anything special anymore. Like if this was the old patch where bleed damage cut through all resistances, this shit would be powerful as fuck. But whatever. All right, so the heavy armor set for here. Grave Guardian. So there's 2 stamina, max health, so it's a health. Summon a stone ore while blocking, hardening you and your group, increasing your spell resistance. And oh, okay. This is going to be actually a decent set. That's almost like having a blockable blood spawn. And it doesn't seem to have a cooldown either. So it basically just makes you tankier when you block. It's good for tanking. It's good for tanking. PvP tanking. This is also good for stamina builds in Cyrodiil, for sure. If you're like a brawler or any type, this actually would be decent. It's not bad. Not bad at all. The monster mask here. Let's see. Spell damage. So we got another Magicka set. Okay. Spell damage. Deal damage with the light attack. Puts a bone stack on the enemy for 5 seconds. You can only apply 1 stack every 1 second at 5 stacks. An undodgeable skeleton hand attacks your enemy after 1 second, knocking them into the air and stunning them. So they gave it the dizzy swing passive, the old one, the old dizzy swing shit. Or dealing 15,000 Magicka damage if they cannot be stunned. An enemy that has reached 5 stacks and not gain bonus stacks for 3 seconds. This is going to be real good for those auto attack based builds. The ones where you want to light attack and just kite and shit. I know a guy actually doing a build like this. This is actually a real good set for that. It's not bad at all. Cyrodiil crafting. Okay, so these are the new sets that are put in Cyrodiil. So let's start with Arcturus. Let's see. We got critical riposte, double critical resistance, max health. That's okay. That's a stat that a lot of people need. Not sure if it's that needed, but we'll see. When you take critical damage, you apply major uncertainty and major evisceration. I can't read. Anyway, to the enemy for 9 seconds, reducing their critical by 14 and reducing their critical damage by 10%. An enemy that can only be affected by critical shots once every 10 seconds. This is going to nerf the shit out of crit builds. That's for sure. Khajiit players are going to feel this. This is going to nerf the shit out of the race itself, simply because that just damn near nullifies their passive. It's not, but if you don't build a crit build, this doesn't do shit. If you're building for penetration or raw damage, that's not going to matter. It's going to mean you can't get a big crit off. Crits are very important in PvP, so don't get me wrong. This is actually a decent set. Like, tanks are going to be running around with this all the time. They're going to make tanks damn near unkillable again. Hopefully they didn't buff the heals. If they buff heals and they have a set like this, that's going to be dangerous. It's going to be really dangerous. Unchained Aggressor. This is going to be in Bruma. Stamina recovery, weapon damage, spell damage. Okay. After breaking free, gain Major Berserk for 6 seconds. This occurs once every 16 seconds. So basically, you'll have one break free. If they stun you again, your second break free won't do it. And then every other break free, if it's consecutive, you'll have this up. It's not bad. It allows you to turn a fight. You'd have to build, you could build around it. It's a backup set. I wouldn't put it on the body. Because I guarantee it's going to be in medium. That's how that works. That's alright. It's okay. Dauntless Combatant, located in Cropsford. Okay. Stamina, health, Magicka, and health. So flat stats. When you're affected by a disabling effect, you automatically break free for no cost. After using the effect, you become winded and cannot re-trigger this effect for 21 seconds. Yet again, kind of like the same philosophy as this one. Just instead, you get no cost. These are just 2 utility sets. I mean, they have their uses, but out of the three Cyrodiil sets, this one seems to be the one that'd be the most viable as far as being useful in Cyrodiil. We'll see. So, due to mechanical issues with the Necromancer engagement with corpses and targeting of corpses, the following changes have been made in hopes to alleviate some of the shortcomings. Blast Bones and its morph's corpse will last for 6 seconds rather than 5. The Mender and the Mage and their morphs will now last for 10 seconds rather than 5. Improvement targeting issues from all tether abilities, and will now link to corpses closest to your reticle rather than further. than much larger reticle. So basically, they just made the monsters. The corpse is gonna be up more to allow the necro to have some viability out of some of their shit. Whatever. Last Bones, the skeleton from this ability, and its morphs are going to now attempt to leap from up to 28 meters after the short delay, rather than 15. So they made this a ranged ability now. Okay. Like it used to be a mid-range ability, so basically now they're gonna literally jump to you from max. Okay. Fix an issue where the skeleton would appear to jump backwards when leaping in close ranges. The skeleton will now properly attempt to face his target while leaping rather than moonwalking. Increase the speed in which the skeletons jump. So not only do they jump at range for like if you're a melee class now, which for the necro it's good, but now they jump faster so you have less time to respond. I mean, I guess they're a slow class, so maybe it's needed. Boneyard, reduce the cost of this ability's morphs to 3780 from 90. Oh, that's a buff, so Boneyard would be useful. Fix the issue where the synergy granted the ability and its morphs would fail to damage if activated on the edge of the radius. That's needed. I mean, it should work the way it's supposed to. Congratulations for fixing something that shouldn't have been broken. Moving on. Bone Tyrant, Bitter Harvest, Deaden Pain. Fix an issue where the major protection from the ability was not extending if you had Jorvold's Guidance or other duration extending bonuses. So they fixed something that shouldn't have been broken. Bone Totem, Agony Totem. Fix an issue where the visual effect of the Synergy Pure Agony cooldown indicator would appear to allies who are still on cooldown. The Beam of Necromantic Light will now only show itself when you activate the Synergy. So a visual fix. Living Death Reanimation, fixed the issue where this ability and its morphs would not trigger events that required resurrection to proc. Updated block to be calculated more efficiently by the server, similarly to Sprint. Sets and passes that key off block while bracing now more accurately update as you transition between actively blocking and not. Overall, the core block behaviors are untouched between mechanics and cost. We will be monitoring the forums and other areas for feedback and bug reports, so please make sure to provide feedback on this change if you run into any blah 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 blah. So basically, they're gonna actually make block do what it's supposed. They're trying to make block do what it's supposed to do. Like it's supposed to be an instant mitigation. So, yeah, whatever. Let's see. Activating block while animating an ability or attack will now blend the animation more fluently instead of completely viewing the ability. The core mechanic to block canceling remains untouched, but now displays more of the previous attack's animation before the character animates block. Does that mean you won't know that they're blocking? I don't know what that means. No, the visual effects for blocking still appear as soon as block is officially activated. Yeah, they answered right there, which has been untouched in terms of how long it takes to activate. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to know they're blocking. That'd be great. Like that's actually necessary. Get it. That's interesting to say the least. All right. So basically, either they're gonna make it so you don't know if you're actually getting your attacks blocked, or you're gonna be able to see it like it's supposed to. One of the two. A lot of this is about block. Holy shit. Okay. Fixed an issue where you could activate block when you didn't have enough stamina to actually block the next attack. That's not good. You will now need the adequate resources based off your block costs in order to activate the block successfully. That makes sense. Attacks that reduce your stamina to 0 continue to remove the block after successfully mitigating the effect. In some cases, weird secondary effect like bleed occur. The bleed can still be amplified. That should be the way it is. Like if you're blocking with a shield and put a poison on you, you should still die. Makes sense. Okay. Attacks that reduce your stamina to 0 block effect. That's the same thing it just said. Did it literally just say the same thing twice? Effects that would normally mitigate a block. You'll no longer cancel the effect since your ability blocks moves. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Fix an issue with signet target, charge, leap, and teleport abilities would not remove target from stealth or invisibility while you had the detection potion active. Oh. It's a bug fix to nerf the invisibility mechanic of Nightblades. Or make it work the way it's supposed to. Honestly. That's good. Let's see. Fix an issue where many damage over time effects were gaining the effectiveness of stealth bonus, such as guaranteed crit and stunning targets. That would be OP. If you could actually go invisible and then like a Nightblade with twin blade, that would be OP. Yeah, I'm glad they fixed that. Fix any issues where the source of healing could be dodged or blocked if the source from the item set or NPC abilities. That's interesting. Bash now properly cancels channeled abilities, which it should have the whole time, when you would not have the target to successfully bash. Okay. The following thorns, so that's the reflect passive or damage return based abilities, now have a 7-meter range on their effect rather than infinite range. So basically, when you're getting shot by a bow guy, you're not going to be able to do shit to him. You're not reflecting anything back. It makes it more of a melee specific status. And set. I don't know about that. That's kind of dumb. That's really stupid, actually. Whatever. We'll see how it works. I don't like it. They should at least make it maybe 18, maybe a mid-range. If a person with a bow or a staff gets within 15 to 20 meters, then they're out of position and they should be punished for it. I don't believe it should be infinite. I can say that. Just for the amount of combat integrity. For combat integrity, there should be a range. It shouldn't be infinite, right? Like if you're sitting 28 to 36 meters away from me and I'm a Dragon Knight and you're shooting me with an arrow, yeah, no, you shouldn't take damage from it. But if you move within mid-range, which is about, like I said, between maybe 20 and 15 meters and closer, you should take damage. They have the right idea. They executed it like dog shit. Anyway, moving along. Summon pets from players' abilities, such as the unstable familiar, will now behave more consistently with other abilities when entering deep water. This means you will no longer deal damage or heal while in this state. Leaving deep water will return the pet to its default state, which in some cases may require the ability to be reactivated. That makes sense. I can get behind that. That makes a lot of sense. Because you can't cast any other abilities when you're in water. So you shouldn't be able to cast you shouldn't be able to cast abilities. Your pets should go away. They shouldn't be able to fight while you're in the water. That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's see. 1 second here. Alright, fix an issue where some leap charge abilities could not cast while immobilized. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, if you're immobilized, you shouldn't be able to move. So, okay, whatever. I don't understand how that's supposed to affect something in a positive way. Immobility, by its definition, means you can't move. So I don't know what I'm missing here, but whatever. I must be missing something. Like I said, immobility means you can't move. So if you're moving while immobilized, that's kind of defeats the purpose of what it's supposed to be. Fix an issue where many leap abilities and charge abilities would move your character in an odd way if you cast the ability in close range. I know this is like critical charge. Like, if you're too close and you cast critical charge because they changed it where there's no distance, the guy moves backwards and then moves forward. It's like, yeah. That's kind of weird. But, I mean, if they changed it, it'll make it more, you could use it more as a spammable if you don't like D-swing. That's good. Updated the control and responsiveness of many charges and leap abilities so that they reach fast-moving targets more reliably, as well as allow you to take action fluently after chasing them. So this is more based around the mechanic of using critical charge and maybe fossilize, things like that. Probably allow you to use your, like, shield assault and toppling charge for Templars who like to use that ability. Not bad. That's not a bad fix. That's actually decent. Fix an issue where many leaps and charge abilities would fail to apply their effects, so if you began sprinting after activating them. Another thing that should have never been a problem. Okay. Off balance will properly update its size against varying target dummies. So it'll allow, that's silly. Update off balance to behave more consistently across the content in the game. Whatever. Off balance now lasts for 7 seconds from player source abilities and sets. Okay. Off balance is no longer reapplied to a target after Off balance is no longer reapplied to a target for 15 seconds. Once the original source of off balance ends, this cooldown is displayed as a debuff on the target once they are affected. So does that mean it lasts for 7 seconds and then after the 7 seconds you have 15 seconds where you can activate it? That's if that's the case, that's a huge nerf. Huge nerf to off balance. That's also, we're gonna have to relook at the Weapon Master build too, if that's the case. I gotta test that out. That's wow, holy shit. It also affects the champion points too, from the 10% increase in damage you get from champion points. If that is if that reads the way I think it is, these two together, that's massive. That's massive. Okay. Off balance is no longer consumed on target from heavy attacks or abilities. That's good. Because that means that when you put somebody off balance and you heavy attack them, you still get your passive bonus from those who play champion points. If you stun them in PvP, that's not bad. This is horrible for off balance if that's true, but this ain't too bad. Note these rules may be irrelevant in some areas, such as tutorial, where core focus of teaching. Nobody gives a shit about the tutorials. What? What? Moving on. Heroism, major and minor. These buffs will now only grant ultimate while in combat. This prevents these buffs from keeping you in combat longer than intended. We'll see. I don't know how that. They're trying to say that's the reason for the combat bug instead of fixing their coding is what they're trying to say, but we'll see. Moving along. Dragon Knight. Yeah, let's see what they did to us. Let's see how if they gutted us or not. Dragon Standard, fix an issue where the first 3 ticks of the ultimate and its morph would appear to happen instantaneously. Okay. Flame Lash, so the morph of Flame Whip. The special ability, Power Lash, can now be cast on enemies that are immobile. That's good for Magicka DK, since they use Fossilize and have the immobile pet. They can get immobilization easy. That'll buff not stamina DK, Magicka DK pretty hard. That's not bad. Draconic Power, Dragon Leap. This ultimate will now properly animate its leap on target, regardless of its range, result in more overall reaction time for those on the receiving end of the dunk. So they're basically trying to give a soft nerf to Dragon Leap. I mean, it's fine. It's a powerful ability. I'm guessing that means like it's gonna like leap and then come down. So you can actually like basically it's gonna give the hover like here I come, bitch. We'll see. We'll have to see how that is. I use Dragon Leap in a few builds. We'll have to see how it actually changes the flow of combat. Alright, let's see. Protective Scales. This ability now grants damage mitigation to the ability more appropriately as described in the tooltip. So they made Protective Scales do what it's supposed to do. A lot of these fixes are things that should have already been going on. Alright. Earthen Heart, Helping Hands. This passive no longer triggers off stamina costing Earthen Heart abilities, namely being Stonefist and Stone Giant. So Helping Hands gives you stamina back when you activate a Earthen Heart ability, so it's kind of like, I don't know why. It should have a cooldown though. Please. While the numbers previously balanced themselves out at higher costs of Stonefist, but return of the passive, it made using the ability early or when low on resources overly penalizing. We opted out to simply reduce the cost to the normal amount and implement this conclusion. So basically, when you're low, you don't want to cast, is what they're saying. That's the reason they changed it. I mean, if you want stamina back, you should be heavy attacking anyway, or making sure that your resource recovery is better instead of worrying about a passive like that. Anybody who's doing that is actually kind of playing it wrong, but whatever. Moving along, Molten Weapon, Molten Armament. This is one of my abilities. Let's see what we got. Fix an issue where major brutality granted from this ability could fail to apply to the group in certain situations. Yeah, yet again, fixing something that should have never been broken. Got it. So we got another update to Stonefist. So not only does it not proc Helping Hands, let's see what else they changed. Update this ability to improve visual storytelling and precast impact. So they made it more, you can tell you're about to get Stonefisted. Oh boy. Stonefist is now a 2-part ability instead of a singular instant mid-range attack. Activating the ability will now stomp the earth, causing you to do damage in an area around you. After short cast time, generating 3 charges of the ability. Activating the ability again allow you to lob 1 earthen spear around you to an enemy from up to 28 meters away. This ability no longer has a stagger mechanic, but instead the final charge will stun the enemy upon dealing damage. Reduce the cost of this ability to $22.95 from $34.43. So does that mean you have to build this ability up and then fire it? That's weird. by the way you read that, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, basically they're telling you to stomp the ground 3 times, which in my head tells me that's 6,000 resource you got to use. And then for each shot, that's another 6,000 to get the full effectiveness out of it. Either it's too early for me to be thinking about this shit, or that's what I just read, which is garbino, unless the damage is actually high enough to make a difference. Because basically what it's saying is you would stomp the ground, which does nothing, it just gives you a charge. And no, okay, I'm reading it wrong. So maybe it's you stomp the ground, you get 3 charges, and then you can reactivate to shoot at them. That makes more sense. But still, do you shoot all 3 charges at once? Does it just hover around you so you can shoot, shoot, and shoot? Does each shot cost 2,000 resource? Might play with it and see. That's interesting. It's interesting. Stone Giant Morph. This morph retains stagger in the form, causing the target to be affected by ranged attack and take additional damage. Okay. Increases the damage per tick up to 65 at rank that max rank up to 45. Okay. This morph is now this morph now applies stagger to enemies hit by the initial cast to help improve the impact of the landing cast time. We'll see. That's weird. Yeah, we're gonna play with that ability and see how it works. Because if you get, it's a stun, but if you gotta cast 3 of these and they each cost 2,000 a piece, just dizzy swing them in heavy, half heavy. Like, that'd be good for a ranged attack, I guess. A ranged stun, but then again, you could just run a fire staff, which you should be running anyway in Cyrodiil, fire or lightning. Nightblade, Shadow, Consuming Darkness. Fix an issue where the synergy granted from this ability and its morphs could only be activated when a certain health threshold, which was not previously communicated. It can now be activated anytime when you meet the listed requirements and are not on cooldown. So they fix something that should have never been broken. Fix an issue where the visual effects of Path of Darkness could persist longer than intended. I think I've seen that where it just kind of sits there and you don't know if they're still there or not. That's a good fix. Dangerous Summoning. Summon a stable familiar. Reduce the cost of the special active of this ability and the summon volatility. So they cut the cost down. Okay, so that's a little bit of buff for the familiar. Maybe Sorks aren't using it enough. I don't play enough Sork to know. Storm Calling, Bold Escape. Fix an issue where the projectile absorption could persist longer than the intended under certain circumstances. So basically, you were still shooting them and they wasn't doing shit after they streak like they were supposed to. That's a good fix. Lightning Splash, reduce the cost of this ability and its morphs. So they get Magic Swords get more Lightning Splash. Whatever. Overload, fix the issue where toggling the ability could dismount you. That would suck. And updated mini sets to properly key off Overlord and his Morris, where they stated they require heavy attacks. That's a little bit of a buff to the Overlord. So Sorks, they like to use the whole auto attack type build architect. They're gonna like that. That's a good little buff for them. Templar. Let's see what we got here for our favorite paladin class. Adric Spear, Spear Shards. Reduce the cost of this ability and its morphs from 3780 down from 4950. So you're gonna see more shards everywhere. Okay. Don's Wrath Nova. So this is the ultimate. This ability and its morphs now have a negative telegraph, so we can properly tell if it's from heaven or called down to protect you or smite you. I don't know what does it mean? It's going to be red or green? so you can know what it's meant to do to you. I guess that makes sense, because if you have 2 Templars and they both cast Nova in certain areas, you can know which one's yours. So I guess that is actually helpful. That will actually help you coordinate appropriately if you have 2 Templars. A Templar on each team fighting each other. That's not bad. That's actually a decent change. They did something halfway decent. Fix an issue where the ability damage did not properly generate hit reaction against enemies. Yeah, you want it to do the damage it's supposed to, the way it's supposed to. Good job. Moving along, restoring light. Sacred ground. This passive no longer snares enemies in the area. Instead, it increases your block mitigation by 10% while standing in the mentioned ability. I don't know how I feel about that. You can't use it to kick. I mean, I guess there still are other ways for you to stun somebody. It does make you a little bit tankier too, so it does actually help you with that. And that's only if you're blocking. Yeah, that's meh. We'll see. Warden, green balance, fungal growth. Fix an issue where the visual effect of this ability could display at incorrect angles as you result to you to fix this. However, no longer confirmed to terrain. What does that mean? He passes through terrain? I mean, I have seen people cast it and cast like a funky angle, but yeah, I don't know. It no longer conforms to terrain. Does that mean either that means it stops or it goes through it? One of the two. So either it's going to be like, oh shit, you got a line of sight it, which actually is appropriate, or it's going to be some buggy shit where you can cast it through a wall. Which means you'll have wardens on the other side of keep walls casting it. This if it's enough burst heal and people sitting on a wall. Yeah. Whatever. Moving along. Living Vines. Fix an issue where you could slowly turn to your target, receiving the cast if they run out. If they run out of the field of vision while activating, you are now immediately snapped into the direction of the cast. Okay. So they made you have to line of sight. That's good. As it should. Winter's Embrace. Glacial Presence. This passive now increases your critical damage against enemies and critical healing against allies who have recently been affected by a chill effect. That actually might be good. That might actually be real good. Gives you more crit. I have to test that out. That seems like a little bit of a buff to the Warden. So weapons, let's see. We'll start with the bow. Poison Arrow. Fix an issue where the ability and its morph would cancel any previous cast abilities such as cast times or channeling. Okay. Poison Injection. Fix an issue where the initial hit of this ability was not considered an execute by many proc conditions such as shear. Oh wow, yeah, it should definitely be. It's an execute, so it should be counted as an execute. Rapid Fire, the Morph Ballista. Fix an issue where the ability could continuously break the caster's invisibility. Shouldn't it? You shouldn't be able to stop an ultimate with pressing a button. Whatever. Alright, Volley reduces the cost of this ability. So they just made you able to spam Volley more. That's not bad. I mean, most people use it as a burst spammable anyway. So it's not too bad. Let's see how it works. Moving along. Destruction Staff. Destructive Tux. Fish an issue where the visual effects of the ability damage over time will fail to refresh when using a lightning staff. Fix something that should never been broke. Wall of Elements. Reduce the cost of the ability. Okay. I don't know. I mean, that'll allow you to get it off better. Easier, I guess. It makes it more viable on your tooltip in combat. It's an overtime effect, so you should never be spamming it, so that's helpful. Fix an issue. Fix numerous issues involving visual effects And it's more. Yeah, so you need to be able to see if you're standing in a fucking area of fire, if that makes sense. Dual wield blade cloak, reduce the cost of this ability. That's okay. I mean, that means you have a better chance of casting it and having it up. Not too bad at all. Twin blade and blunt. Fixes an issue where the bleeds from the passive are not considered a proc. Okay. One-handed sword and shield battlefield mobility. This passive now more accurately describes what it does. Okay. That's a change, I guess. Alright, so the restoration staff, the life giver. Fix an issue where casting the ability would fail to trigger. The event that required when applying damage shield, since the ability automatically casts the shield. Okay. Berserker Strike, two-hander. Favorite ultimate. Let's see what they fucked up now. Alright. Fix an issue where the ability and its morphs could not proc soul lock passive. Whatever. Reduce the damage done by the abilities and morphs approximately by 16% to account for the fact that it ignores mitigation. Berserker's raise fiction issue where the ability to not grant immunity to snares and immobilization. So they didn't change Onslaught, which is good. And I can agree with the first half being changed. Because you should be using it in a combo fashion, right? Like, you should be hitting them with it to kind of pressure a little bit of damage, but still their resistances, so you can pressure with your dizzies, your wrecking blow if you have wrecking blow instead, and your executioner, and any other direct attacks. The main reason people take Onslaught, should be taking Onslaught, is the secondary passive, plus the damage. It should be a damage version of the DK's corrosive armor, basically. So I can, it should allow you, for those who want to be offensive and still get that type of passive instead of defensive. I think they nerfed, maybe we'll see how much the 16% actually is. We'll try it out and see, but yeah, it's not too bad, I guess. Heavy weapon fiction issues where bleeds from the passive are not consistent with proc conditions. Okay. Oh, fuck. They're changing D-swing again. This morph now stuns enemies who are already off balance. Not sure how effective that is. What? Okay, so I guess this would allow people who are not good at doing the half heavy attack to get another version off. Like, you don't, if you're not really good at that type of animation stuff, then this gives you another viable option. Basically, is taking down the skill cap of the dizzy swing, which is what they do all the time. Lower the skill cap for the players that have been playing for a long time, so the newer players can feel viable. That's meh. Difference in philosophy, I guess. I believe you should be rewarded for putting in time, not scaled down. But anyway, moving along. Enemies hit by this ability are immune to off balance are now snared for 40 seconds by 40% for 2 seconds. That makes sense. That's actually good. That actually may make the Armor of True Set still a viable set in a way. The swing, because basically you get your weapon buff, and then while your weapon buff's waiting to refresh, which I still got to see how that interaction goes for our Weapon Master build, but you still get a snare, so you can stick to him while you wait for it to come up. I don't know if 2 seconds is long enough though. Maybe 3 or 4, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't even. Yeah, they're probably gonna say the same shit or give some bullshit excuse why they should have just left Dizzy swinging the way it fucking was. Nerf the damage a little bit and fucking left you the knockback and the stun. Anywho, now it's like they're trying to find a way to make it a spammable. That's why they're doing the second passive, because now I can spam Dizzy swing on you and you can't get away. but whatever. Anyway, which is probably why they made all those challenges to off balance too. When you think about it, the only reason they'll make those changes to off balance is because now if you can stick to your opponent and continuously proc off balance and they can't get away, and you're running something like the Armor of Truth, or you're running a Cyrodiil with that 10% increase, so your dizzy swings always hurt way more. I don't know. Like, their combat team's all over the place, it seems like to me, but whatever. Moving along. Alright, so the armor set. Let's see what the armor change. They made one armor change, the heavy armor, unstoppable brute. The cost reduction of CC break for this ability is now properly linked to the major resolve it grants, and will increase the duration with the bonuses such as this is some PvE shit. People don't even really use that anyway, unless they're playing PvE, so that doesn't matter to us. Moving along. Alright, so world skills, soul magic, soul trap. See what they changed here. Fix an issue where soul trap and its morse would not clear when clearing all spent points while respecking. Oh, so basically gives you a skill point back. Thank you, I guess. Vampire drain. That's been in the game ever since the game started. So I don't know. They just now changed that shit. Like, anyway, a vampire drain essence. The stun from this ability and its morse now occur when the cast completes rather than when it begins. So you gotta wait for it to end. Does that now? Here's the question. Does that mean when you cast it, you can animation cancel it and get the stun off? If you have to wait for it to completely channel to drop off to do it, then it's gonna fucking suck. But if you can animation cancel, which means we got some skill in that, that's not bad. And it allows for counterplay too, because also that means if you can break the tether as the player receiving it and they don't get the stun off, that should be the counterplay to it. But I don't think they thought that far ahead, of course. Anyway, fixed an issue where casting this ability in rapid succession will cause it to get stuck and cause various animation issues. So basically, you kept casting it, you get stuck with your arm out or some shit. I don't play vampires, so. Well, I have one, but I don't play them like that. Werewolf. Alright. Fix numerous issues where light and heavy attacks weaving as werewolves could cause desyncs in the animation with other abilities such as prowling, piercing howl. So they made it so you can actually animation cancel like you're supposed to. Good job. Fix an issue where you could stay in werewolf form indefinitely in some areas while within trials. So that's nothing to do with us. Fix an issue where introduction requests, blah, 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 nothing to us. Pounce. Fix an issue where this ability would fail to properly animate the leap. This will result in more time for defenders to respond to the attack as well. So basically, probably allows you to actually get up and then down. So that way somebody can block it or whatever, which, I mean, it does have to have some type of counterplay, I guess. Alright, so the guild abilities, Meteor, Shooting Star. This ability no longer grants ultimate when hitting corpses. I guess that does make sense. You should be. I don't know how viable of a change that is though, but meh. You don't shoot it for the corpses, but okay. Cedric Order, Consecrated Barrier. This passive, more accurately described in the proc tooltip, removes the shield recharge visual effect that would appear every 10 seconds when not blocking. I mean, I guess that's probably something where they just wanted to take it out to save for fucking coding and shit. I mean, it didn't bother anybody, but whatever. Undaunted Bone Shield, Bone Surge, fiction issue where the synergy and its more grant bonus shield larger than it's stated. So they nerfed it, which I mean, they should make it cast what it's supposed to cast or whatever. Trapping Web, fixed an issue where the ability and its morphs were being considered damage over time instead of melee damage in some cases. Shouldn't it? Trapping Web should be damage over time. Okay, we'll get back to that. Alliance War. Let's see what they changed here. We're at the end of the abilities now. Support barrier. Fix an issue where the visual effects of the shield would fail to persist if the original shield was refreshed. So you couldn't stack it? Is that what they're saying? I never heard of this bug, so I don't know. Drug. Let's see what they did to the hammer. Update many of the damage and scaling modifiers for the Daedric artifact to better match ability standards. Increase the light attack damage by 1725. Increase the damage on the rebuke by 1550. They just increased the damage on it, but let's see. Cursed charge got to decrease. So the gap closer, that should be decreased because like you instantly dash to somebody, it shouldn't nuke you. They should have to do something else. Decrease the damage. Why would you decrease the damage to the ultimate? What? This is supposed. Okay, time out. This is supposed to be a artifact of power from a Daedric prince that you pick up, and you're supposed to be the ultimate power on the battlefield until it goes back to oblivion. And they nerfed the ultimate ability on it to basically make people be able to survive instead of if they get caught out. Stop lowering the skill cap of PvP, for Christ's sakes. That's the point of it. Jesus. They're so off when it comes to how they do this PvP shit. They nerf everything into the ground to where the simplest minded person can play the game instead of having to put in the time to actually do something good. The skill ceiling is just plummeting. Like, that's insane. That is insane. Moving on. How you gonna? That's stupid. We'll talk about that later. I gotta keep moving on. Malakash's Revenge. Update the ability to better match the visual. Results in a 700 millisecond cast time. This will fix numerous issues where this could cause health desync or hit target and appear in dodge, whatever. The Rebuke. Update the ability to better match the visual effect, resulting in a 600 millisecond cast time. This fix. Okay, whatever, same thing. The ultimate that they already nerfed for no fucking reason. Fix an issue where the ability could pull targets through the walls. That should not happen. That's a fix. Fix an issue where the ability's damage did not properly match its visual. This results in reducing the delay of the first attack down from 2 seconds to resulting in 3 additional ticks of damage. That's more stuff about blocking and fixed block, whatever. Alright, item sets. The following sets will now more appropriately react to your block state to display their functions. Affliction. Fix an issue where the set would apply minor defile and have a 15% chance to apply disease. It will now apply disease status effect instead, since the debuff for minor defile is applied already. Okay, that makes sense. Archmage. This set now properly triggers off resto heavies. Okay. Armor of Truth. Let's see what they did to my baby. The set now grants its bonus damage after dealing damage to an enemy who is off balance rather than setting the enemy off balance. That really doesn't mean anything. The armor. Is this the nerf that everybody was complaining about? When you do, you literally have to have a damage over time effect on the target or auto attack. That's it. Which you should be auto attacking in between your animation or animation cancel bashing anyway. So that does nothing to the Armor of Truth. Nothing. You literally have like a half second now that you have to do it instead. Well, that's if you're using D-Swing to proc it. I don't know what people are complaining about. It's harder to use, so now people complaining, oh god, it was nerfed. No, it takes some skill, learn the game. That's all that is. They put some, and that's like a 1% skill change. Like this, that's apply a dot, proc it. The dot will take care of it. Light up your other shit from when your doc's gonna pop off. If they purge it, auto light attack him. You should be doing half auto anyway, a half heavy to try to stun him. So that means you get the proc on the stun, so you can layer. Anyway. Let's see, Ashen Grip. This set no longer focus your character into animation, potentially getting it stuck and displaying odd behaviors. I don't know what that means. When an issue, fix an issue where this set didn't properly trigger off all melee attacks. Okay. Remove the 10% proc chance and increase the damage of the overall effect to 5350 from 1118. That's a huge damage buff. I don't know. I've never played with this set, so I'd have to check it out and see what it actually does. Aurorian's Thunder. I actually play with this set on my Templar. Let's see. Update the set tooltip to better match the actual proc requirements. Fix an issue where the set wouldn't work in some melee attacks. Decrease the damage per tick to 1147 from 1285. We'll see how that affects my Templar. It's meh. It looks like they got a small damage increase of about maybe 120 damage, 140-ish. It's not that bad. Per tick. We'll see. That's not that big of a nerf. Briarheart. The set no longer has a hidden 1 second cooldown on heal. Didn't know I had a hidden 1 second thing on heal. But the heal has been decreased to been cut in half. Holy shit. They cut that shit in half. Okay. Increase the weapon damage bonus for a prettier number. They increased it by 1. Okay. Increase the proc chance. Okay. To 25% from 10. That explains the decrease in healing, but I don't know what. See how that works. It's an overall nerf. Claw of Valkyrie. Fix an issue where the set did not proc when using Trifocus passive. Clever Alchemist. This is actually a set that a lot of people like to use because of dots build. Let's see what we got. Clever Alchemist. Update the in-combat check for this item set to be more accurate with the current state. Increase the duration of the bonus for 20 seconds up from 15. Increase this weapon and spell damage to 675 from so Clever Alchemist got buffed. Wow. They buff the damage, the time it's up, and they buff the damage on it. Whoever uses dots build, they're gonna like that. Curse Eater. Fix an issue where this set would fail to proc off ultimates and mend wounds. Okay. This set now has a 8-second cooldown per target rather than overall. That's good. So you can swap targets. It's not bad. Increase the magic restore to 687 up from 600. So a little bit of a buff there. Fix an issue where the set shared its cooldown with Stendarr's Embrace. Yeah, it shouldn't share a cooldown with another set. They should intermingle. Curse of Demolish. I don't know what the fuck this is. This set now properly works on feared targets. Reduce the cooldown from 4 seconds down from 7. Increase the damage done to 12,507 up from 12,040. So whatever this set is, I've never used it, but it looks like it got a buff. So whoever uses this set in their builds, you got a buff. Congratulations. Delrock Brave. Fix an issue where this set could activate while his shield wall or his morphs were active. Never used it, so I don't know. I'd have to check it out. Destructive Mage set. Let's see. This set explosion can now be triggered by a heavy attack rather than only allies. That's good. You should be able to proc your own shit when you put it on them. That's not bad. Reduces the cooldown of the application of this set to 4 seconds, down from 10. So you can apply it more. That's good. That you're going to get more DPS out of it, regardless of how you're playing, whether it's PvE or PvP. So that makes it more of a viable set. Decrease the damage done to from the explosion to 6575, down from 7500. That makes sense because they nerf the time, the cooldown by half, so that's reasonable. They got it right on the set, that's for sure. That set anyway. Draga's Rest Fish an issue where the set wasn't triggering off its stated requirements, aka they made it do what it's supposed to do. Doom Ripper Scale Fiction issue where the set would not activate while shield wall or his morphs were active. Okay. Increase the amount of armor set to 5310 from 4300. That's good. So you got more armor from the set, and it activates even when you're using shield wall, which it should. So that's good. How much more of this we got? Oh, we're almost done. We're getting there. Oh. Actually, yeah. I'll be right back. I need to get me a drink of water. This is a lot. Okay, let's see. Elfbane. Fiction issue where this set wasn't properly applying some of its tooltip. Increase the duration of the bonus from 5 seconds from 2, so it actually makes it useful to have in some ways. Increase the issue where the set was not increasing the duration of Wall of Fire or its morphs. So it's a little bit, they fixed it and buffed it to make it actually viable. That's not bad. Engine Guardian. Let's see what they fixed here. Fix the numerous issues where the set's cooldown for its abilities where the spear could cast. What? Fix the numerous issues with this set's cooldown for abilities where the spear could cast. They fixed something. Fix an issue where this set would leave the mortal realm if you enter deep waters while active. The fuck does that mean? Anyway. Essence Thief. This set now procs off light and heavy attacks instead of only lights. That's good, it should. A fiction issue where the set could proc off friendly targeted light attacks. It shouldn't do that, so that's a good fix. This set now displays a beam of light visible to the wearer when the sigil spawns and finalize its location in order to help increase the visibility in visually noisy areas. That's good, so people using this Essence Thief set will actually be able to see where it's at in big fights. That's super good. That's super good. Okay, let's see. Eternal Hunt. Fix an issue where this set can consider overtime instead of direct damage. Okay. Galleon's Revenge. This set only requires 5 stacks of treasure instead of 6, so that's a small buff. Increase the damage done to 9,000. Whatever this is, you just got double the damage from whatever it procs. Holy shit. Added a 1-second cooldown applying stacks. Fix an issue where this set will fail to apply properly with lightning and restoration staffs. Yeah, whatever this set is, you just got a buff. So if you use Galleons of Revenge, you got a buff. You could get it faster and you got double the damage. Ice Furnace. The set no longer requires direct damage to proc chance to trigger. And the damage increased by 600. Okay. Ice Heart. Fix an issue where the set was considered direct damage instead of damage over time. Reduce the damage shield set by 5,000 instead of 86. So they just made it like every other damage shield in the game. Reduce the damage per tick. You would have to have Consecrated Barrier to make Ice Heart work. To give you a 10,000 shield, which is not a bad idea. Especially if you put it with using it with Temporal Guard with the protection. And it allows you to get some other abilities in your tooltip on your bar. We'll have to see how that works. Damage over, it should be damage over time. It shouldn't be direct damage because of the AoE around you, so that makes sense. Not a bad change. The damage shield nerf is meh, but whatever. It'll proc things like Vulcan Scoria, stuff like that. If you activate that with a Permafrost and you have, or a Northern Storm and you have Grothar, it'll probably do good too. Help that big AoE damage. Move along. Infallible Mage. Fix an issue where the set damage amped was not properly applying to all heavy attacks. Note, minor vulnerability now follows its tooltip and required a fully charged heavy attack to apply. Okay. Infernal Guardian. This set now procs when you apply a damage shield ability on yourself or an ally. Okay. Update the tooltip to better reflect the proc conditions for the set and fix numerous issues where it would not obey its listed and intended proc conditions. So basically they fixed the Infernal Guardian and gave it a small buff where you can actually use it for some utility. Okay. Jolting Arm. Slightly redesigned this set to operate more effectively on the server, resulting in fix for its bash damage failing to apply properly in most cases, and tuning its numbers to be more appropriate with the set at its level of engagement. Okay, reduce the amount of armor granted, so it gives you less armor. Deals bonus damage now, adds a flat 6,000 damage to your bash attacks rather than separate proc shock damage. So it gives you more damage. They took away a little bit of defense, added a little bit of offense, gave you a flat damage buff to your bash instead of a proc for shock, which is cool. Updated the tooltip to appropriately mention the cooldown of its damage bonus. Okay. So they fixed transparency and fixed the build to do what it was supposed to do. Juggernaut. Fixed an issue where the heal from this set could critically strike. Lackey's Focus. Nobody really uses this, but whatever. Now grants major evasion rather than a unique buff. Okay. Removes the healing reduction from the set. Okay. Reduce the penalty from area of effects to 15% down from 25. I'll have to see how that works. It's an okay set. It was an okay set. Well, not a lot of people use it, but now, since you don't have that debuff, you might actually be able to use it a little bit more. We'll have to see. I have to actually go in game and look at it. Sounds like it may be somewhat viable now, depending on how you build. Molakina. Reduce the cost increase penalty to 8%, down from 20. Nice. Nice. So now you can use now this is actually a somewhat when you get the Overlord, it doesn't hurt you as badly. It kind of puts it in the range of New Moon Acolyte. It's 3% more than New Moon Acolyte on a monster set, and you still get a shit ton of buff from it. They're probably doing it so that way you can line it up with New Moon Acolyte on an auto attack build. That's probably what they're doing. I might test that out once I'll build somewhere. That actually makes it viable. Just Okay. This set now properly mentioned, because an Imperial can use the shit out of it. But we'll move along. I don't want to get into theory crafting yet. We just want to go over the patch notes. Markudin. This set now properly mentions its cooldown in its tooltip. That's good. Fix an issue where the light attack from this set would snare enemies. Yeah, that's an issue. Light attack should be a light attack. Nothing more, nothing less. It's an issue where the damage dealt from this set's attack were highly inconsistent. I don't know what that means, but all right. Remove the proc chance from this item set. So you can keep it up more. Okay. Person is Rags. Fix an issue where this set is not providing the correct amount of magicka while sprinting. Okay. Robes of the Hiss. Fix an issue where the set would fail to properly activate the snares. Robe of the Hiss. Fix an issue where this set would fail to properly activate against snares under certain circumstances. This item set now displays a visual effect while the proc condition is met. So you know when it procs. That's good. Sketching Mage. This set no longer considered the first tick of overtime damage as direct damage. Okay. This set no longer requires critical strike to proc. Okay. Reduces the duration and cooldown to 5 from 6%. Comes up 1 second more. Lasts for 1 second less. That's fair. I would actually have to look at it. If it doesn't proc off critical, I don't know if it procs off just regular melees or if it doesn't proc at all, you just use it. Seems like they're trying to take away a lot of the procs, which helps for more consistent builds if it's not proc, but I don't know. We'll see. Shadow of the Red Mountain updates the tooltip for this set to better represent the proc condition. Okay. Basically, they're explaining what it's supposed to do instead of confusing the shit out of people. Sheer Venom. Fix an issue where this set would fail to proc from any point of the poison injection's damage over time. Increase the damage to 9,660, down from 8428. Up from 8428. So they increase the damage on this. More damage is always good. Stormmaster. Fix an issue where this set would fail to proc off Overlord, despite it being thematically appropriate to do so. Yeah. You're using Overlord, but Stormmaster doesn't work. Yeah, it's awkward. Increase the damage by about 300. Fix an issue where the damage done was considered a projectile rather than a direct attack. Okay. Thaws of the Hairbringer. I don't know. I've never heard of that set. Let's see what it does. The set now deals damage based off 6% of your max health rather than 4% of your current health. Yeah, because if it does off current, when you're getting your ass kicked, you're doing less damage. You're literally getting whittled down and getting beaten down. Whatever it does. Okay. The second teaches to deal damage regardless of the range of the attacker. I don't know what. I gotta see what that build. Because Anyway. Torment. This out now properly works with explosive charge. Okay. Vulcan Scoria. I actually need to use this set. Let's see. Fix an issue where this would proc off of procs. Fix an issue where this set could proc off procs. Other procs. Shouldn't it? If it's a damage over time ability, it should proc, regardless of where it comes from. So it sounds like they're trying to change it where it has to be an ability that it's a damage over time ability, not something from a set. Whatever. Fix an issue where this set could proc multiple times at once if hitting large enough numbers of enemies. That should be a thing. That should be, yet again, that should be a reward. If you catch a group of people in a huge AoE, you should be able to do something like that. Because they should move away if you catch that many people. Whatever. Vestment of Ornament. Fix an issue where this set, I probably said that name completely wrong. Olarime? Yeah, there you go. Fix an issue where this set would trigger off siege weapons. That should be a thing. Let's see. Vacosa, whatever that is. This set now reduces the enemy's spell and weapon damage by 20% for 5 seconds within a 15-second cooldown when you bash an enemy you've taunted. Way of Fire. Update the tooltip for the set to better represent proc conditions. Wild Impulse. Fix the issue where the set's damage over time could not stack from multiple players. These are PvE fixes, I think. I don't think anybody uses that in game. If they do, that's cool too. You can do more damage if more than one person uses it. Wilder Queen's Art. Fix an issue where the snare would stack with other snares. I guess that'd be bad. If you can stack snares to make somebody much slower, I guess that could be a bad thing. Wrath of the Imperium. Fix an issue where this set would not properly grant its bonus to all 3 hits of force shot. Yeah, it should. Zon. The ramping damage bonus to this set is now a maximum of 5 stacks to match its duration. To prevent it from becoming wildly powerful when used in conjunction with duration extension bonuses like Elfbane. Okay, so they're trying to make sure Zon doesn't get too powerful, and it can just rip you to shreds. Hey guys, thank you for watching this long. If you guys finished the video, be sure to like and subscribe or dislike if you didn't like it. Please leave your comments below. Let me know if you like this kind of raw patch note review or if you like something more scripted. Be sure to follow me on Twitter as well as Twitch, so that way you can see any giveaways that we have, and come check me out on my stream. Besides that, everybody have a wonderful day. Peace.